Today we're going to talk about patterns and words, and we're going to practice using what we know about these patterns to help us break words apart. The reason we're doing this is because knowing how to use patterns to break words can help you when you're reading and you come to a word you might not be sure about, or when you're writing and you come to a word that you're not sure how to spell. So we're going to practice today using what we know about patterns to break words apart. So one of the things that you might know about patterns is that there's a pattern that happens a lot when you have two consonants together and you hear both sounds. We see that pattern in our nursery rhymes that we've been exploring together this week. So I'm going to go ahead and reread our nursery rhymes for us so to refresh our memories, and then we'll practice breaking words using that pattern of two consonants together and hearing both sounds. So let's start with a review of Little Boy Blue, the shepherd who was sleeping in the haystack while the sheep and the cows were out roaming freely, and they shouldn't have been. I'm going to read it, we're just going to enjoy it, and then we'll practice breaking some of the different words we see. Little Boy Blue, come blow your horn. The sheep's in the meadow, the cow's in the corn. But where is the boy who looks after the sheep? He's under the haystack, fast asleep. By Mother Goose. Okay, so one of the reasons patterns are important is because patterns can help us figure out ways into words. So I'm going to show you with the word blue from Little Boy Blue. Right, here's our word blue. So one thing we can do is we can break that word, and you can break the word by using the pattern. So watch, if I'm going to break blue, I'm going to break it like this. Blue. Right? I can break the pattern, the consonant pattern, the two consonants together where we hear both sounds. Remember, sometimes it's called a blend, sometimes it's called a consonant cluster. I can break that from the rest of the word. And then I can also use that to help me spell the word. So if I had to spell the word blue, I could spell it by listening for the pattern. So I hear bl, so I might start with that. Ooh. Okay, let's break some words together. Well, I'm showing you this work here on the whiteboard with the letters. You're welcome to try this out at home. If you have magnetic letters, you can certainly use those. You might have letter tiles that you can use from a board game, like Boggle or Scrabble. If you have that in your house, you might be able to use some of those letters. You can do this work with a pencil and a piece of paper. You can even just do this work with your finger on the carpet or the floor in front of you. So let's go ahead and practice using what we know about patterns to break some words apart. So we had Little Boy Blue, and he had to go blow his horn. How would you break that word, blow? Give it a go. How would you break that, blow? If you said that you would break it by pulling off the pattern, you're right. Blow. Blow. So did you see how you can use what you know about the pattern to break the word? Blow. Blow. Pretty cool, huh? Let's try it again with another word. When Little Boy Blue was fast asleep, he might have snored. You ever snore in your sleep? Or maybe you know somebody who does, maybe mom or dad or brother or sister. Yeah, it can be annoying, can't it? So let's play with the word snore. Take a look at the word snore. Where do you see our pattern of two consonants together and you can hear both sounds? Yep. If you said that you heard it right here with our SN blend, you're right. Sn. Snore. So watch me break snore. So I hear the sn, or. See how it breaks into those two parts? Sn, or. Now watch me put it together. Sn, nor, snore. So did you see how I broke off the words by listening for the patterns, the sn and the or, and then I can put the word back together? Snore. Let's go ahead and try with some words from our Jack and Jill poem. Remember Jack and Jill? Let's take a look at that poem, or that nursery rhyme. Jack and Jill, who had that errand of having to go up and get some water from the well and then they have that bad accident. Let's go ahead and read Jack and Jill again just to enjoy it, and then we'll play with some of the words in this nursery rhyme. Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Up Jack got and home did trot, as fast as he could caper. He went to bed to mend his head with vinegar and brown paper. Let's practice breaking some of the words from our poem. Why don't we start with trot? Remember when you trot, you walk pretty quickly. So say the word trot with me and we'll build it together. Trot, trot. So the first part, what we hear is that TR together, tr. And then we hear our second part of the word, ot. Put it together, trot. Now let's break it apart. Ready? Tr, ot. Put it back together, trot. Right? You might trot quickly, right? If you're walking quickly somewhere, sometimes we could say a horse trots, kind of like a gallop. Trot. Okay. Let's see what other words we might want to play with. What other words are you seeing in our nursery rhyme that you might want to practice building and breaking today? I think you might be seeing the word crown. Let's take a look at the word crown. So crown can be what a king or a queen wears on their head. It can also be an old-fashioned word for head. So that's how it's used in this nursery rhyme. He broke his crown means he hit his head. So take a look at the word crown. Where do you see our pattern of two letters going together, two consonants going together, and you hear both sounds? Crown. That's right, you see it right here with our CR, crown. Now we have two consonants together here at the end of crown, but do we hear both of them? No. So that's an example of when we don't have that pattern. Okay, let's take a look at the word crown. How would you break crown? If you said you would pull off the crown, you're right. Let's build it back together. Crown. So I'm wondering, when Jack hit his head, broke his crown, he was probably pretty bruised. So I imagine he had a bruise around his eye that was black and blue. Let's go ahead and take a look at the word black. Where do you see our pattern of two consonants together and you can hear both sounds? That's right, you see it here at the beginning of our word with our bull. Now take a look at black. We have two consonants together at the end, don't we? But do we hear two sounds, two separate sounds? Black. No, we don't. So again, that's an example of not the pattern, right? That's not an example of our pattern. So that's one thing to know about patterns is lots of times they're gonna work, but not always. So that's why you wanna know about lots of different patterns in words, and you wanna sort of be flexible in the way you think about them. Black. Let's go ahead and break black. How would you break black? I'll put it a little bit closer together here for you. How would you break black? That's right, if you said you would pull it apart here, ack, you're right. Black. Now let's push it back, build it to get back together. Ack, black. Jack probably had a black and blue bruise on his head when he fell. So the author of the poem Mother Goose tells us Jack tumbled down the hill, and Jill. One thing they might have done when they tumbled is they might have flopped. Have you ever flopped and you just kind of fall over? You might have done a belly flop in a pool before, where you jump in and you land on your stomach and it makes that loud sound. It's called a belly flop. So a flop can also mean a way to fall. Something can also flop if it doesn't go well. Like you might do a performance and it doesn't go the way you hoped. You might say, oh, my performance was a flop. So let's go ahead and take a look at the word flop and see what you notice. What do you see? Yeah. If you said you notice our pattern of two consonants together and you hear both sounds in our fl, you're right. Let's use that to break this word apart. Flop. I'm going to break it right here. Fl, up. Let me build it back. flop, flop. So one of the things you can do when you're reading on your own or when you're writing on your own is you can break words apart by looking for those patterns. If you see that pattern of two consonants together making one sound, you can use that pattern to break into the word just like we did together with flop. Right? Knowing about patterns can help you know how to get into a word. Tomorrow we'll play around a little bit more with some more of our pattern.